Oh, is that a better image there?
There you go. All
All right,
right.
I
It
followed
is
David's advice and moved my phone on the horizontal.
nice.
Works
All right.
wonders. There's your miracle.
We are live. So, hello, everybody. My name is Nate from Comics, and I am being joined by four other gentlemen that I like quite a bit. So, I'm just going to go around the horn here. I've got Hagen from Lettuce Comics. We have David, the Garage Geek. Continuing clockwise down to the bottom, we have Jacob, Bone Claws Comics. And then, really, my most special guest and the one that makes me so happy is Steve Driscoll from Comics with Stevie D. He is somebody we've been trying to work out a hangout with for a while. So, Steve, welcome to the show, buddy.
I'm very happy to be here and to be with all you fine gentlemen.
Okay, clearly you do not know us very well.
Someone lied to this man.
We'll see by the end of the night.
All right. I want to say hi to some friends who are in the chat. So we've got Mr. Akins from What's on the Comic Rack, and you're right,
that's my dad.
Alan. I did not want to conflict with Alan. The reason we're doing this on a different night and a different time was just because so many people are here, and we all wanted to find a time that this worked for everybody. That Steve was available as well. So for the most part, I think we'll still probably stick with Tuesdays or Wednesdays, trying not to conflict with other people who have shows that we know, but hopefully Alan and Steven won't be too mad at us tonight. And Matt, I won't tell them you're here either. So good to see you, buddy. Renegade Rants, good evening. Thanks for being here, buddy. If you have not seen his channel, or anybody who's in the chat here, you should definitely sub to all of them. But he just posted a really cool video about completing his Ghost Rider run, and I really enjoyed that one. He had like this little, like almost like personal documentary at the beginning that was really well done. Jay is here from Jab's Expensive Paper. What's up, Jay? Thanks for being here. It's Brandon. That's Lettuce's dad. That's my
also
brother.
my dad.
And then, oh, please, everybody, welcome the first person with a blue wrench in Comics chat, and that is Richard Westfall. He is moderating for us now. So thank you so much, Richard, for agreeing to do that. I really appreciate it.
I personally like the shenanigans. So.
I trust that Richard will allow an appropriate amount of shenanigans.
I think so too. All right. Well, with all of, if anyone else pops in, we'll say hello to them. And yeah, you're welcome, Renegade Rants. I really did enjoy that video. I thought it was really well done. So if anybody has anything to start us off with, is there anybody who brought something they're really excited to share? All right. Okay, I'm going to jump in because I always do. So, all right, I got Hagen, you got to move over that dang duck.
No, I'm fine right here.
That's his happy place.
Okay, I'm going to start. I just pulled a bunch of trades that I've been reading. And so this one here is Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. And the thing I want to make sure I don't do is spoil this. So if no one's read this short story, I don't want it spoiled because it is like, it's one of these shorts that everybody was kind of required to read in high school. And if you've never read the short story, I can't recommend it enough. This was really well done. The artwork in it looks like, and I'm glad you're here, David, because I don't know the terminology, but it's like it's a cross between paint and colored pencil or something. And a lot of the story, because the story is short, is told through the artwork. There are many pages where everything that's happening is told through the illustrations. And the thing that I didn't know when I bought this that really is just incredible to me is the creator of the graphic novel version, Miles Hyman, is Shirley Jackson's grandson. So he grew up, and there's a lot of in the foreword or the afterword. Yeah, in the foreword, he talks about his experiences like going to grandma's house, and like how different would that be if your grandma was an incredibly famous author who wrote it's an incredible short story. It's very, very famous, and it still endures today for a reason. So this was really cool. If you have never read the short story, highly recommend you read the short story. And I also highly recommend this. I mean, I read this in just under an hour for sure. It was really well done. And then the second thing,
Are we allowed to jump in?
Yeah.
I say if people didn't pay attention in English class, no, I'm just going to say something. If they didn't pay attention in English class, then they deserve to have it spoiled. We need to get those students. You know, we're both teachers. I'm like, forget that.
I know, I hear you, but I'm saying, what if they weren't assigned it? What if they're from a
Yeah.
part of the country that like
It may not
avoided
have
that?
been in every state's curriculum.
Everybody's
Exactly.
read that.
Yeah. And then I wanted to share one more thing real quick before I let someone else go. This is something I just picked up today. And I was really excited to get it because there's some stories in there I hadn't read. And so I was at Half Price Books and found this Will Eisner reader that has 7 short stories by him.
Does it have Contract with God?
It does not. I have Contract with God. It does not. It has, let's see here. Sunset and Sunshine City, The Telephone, Detective Story, The Long Hit, Winning, The Appeal, and Humans. And Humans is the one I'm actually really the most excited for because it literally is like the story of humanity with caveman people. And I've never read this one.
We got a feedback.
Yeah, someone's speakers are up. So I think my favorite story by him is The Name of the Game, which is a generational story about a Jewish family in New York, how they immigrate to New York and how they climb some different climb the different social circles. And then another one of his I like, and this kind of punctuates the point I want to make here, The Dreamer, which has this half price sticker on it with also a discount price on it. We talk about Will Eisner as being, the comic book award is named after him. You get the Eisner Award. And I think he's very respected and very revered, but I think he's underappreciated. I don't think people read his stories as much today. And I like anytime I find something by him that I've not read, I'm always really excited to check it out. So I don't know. That was just I was wondering, had anyone read, David, you mentioned Contract with God. Has anyone read any Eisner, his spirit work or any of, I particularly like his, just his own original work, and he does it all. He draws it, he inks it, he letters it. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I have not, but he is one of those names where like it's such a big, well-known name that I sometimes forget that he was a person that did stuff to be worthy of that reputation. So yeah. I have written down all of those things that you showed and that you talked about, and I'm going to see if I can experience that for myself because it looks really awesome.
I cannot recommend anything Will Eisner does enough. But yeah, when I saw that and it was so cheap today, and then I went and I looked at the ones that I had on my shelf, which I do have Contract with God, and what is the Jewish plot one that he did as well, the Zionist plot, which was a made up story to instigate hate against Jewish immigrants at a time, and he kind of he illustrated it like he he was a Jewish artist. So yeah, I think his work is very powerful, and you wouldn't have the comic books the way we have them today without him. And like you said, he's a famous name. We all know it. It's just, I don't think he's read as much. Brandon, thank you so much for being here, man. Popping in and saying, hey. So those were mine to start, just to start. I went heavy. I went literary.
Yeah. You jumped straight for the deep end.
Yeah, don't worry. I got crap too. I always got crap. Come on, who's up? Volunteers.
I'll go.
Steve.
Okay. All right. Here's the book that I got off of a spinner rack at an antique show for $3. And it's one of my favorite books. The hero's got everything. He's got the cape, the sword, the mask, a fancy saddle, and for a long time I thought down in here was clouds, and then I realized it's a mirage, and I've never really seen a lot of mirages in comic books. And I have another Zorro. If you just want to take a quick look at this, it's a pretty good comic cover, but I really like this one much better. Moving on.
It's
The
the
next
same
one-
cover. It's a cover swipe.
It really is. But they're from
Oh.
two different publishers.
Yeah, American Mythology and Marvel.
It's probably a reprint.
Yeah. And now some artists put everything on the cover but the kitchen sink, right? Well, on this Silver Surfer, it has a kitchen sink on it. It's got a kitchen sink, the Infinity Gauntlet, Iron Man's helmet, toys, 3 guitars, William Shakespeare, everything. The Cosmic Cube, tops, jacks. So that's a cover. It's
Steve,
kind of like where is Waldo? You know,
that's Mike Allred art, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one Allred drew?
I got it in my notes here. Yep, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah. That is one I've never read and I've had on my list, mainly just because he's the artist, but I've heard that is a fantastic read just on its own.
Oh yeah, it's a fun read, a fun story, as the cover would indicate. All right. Here's a book that caught my attention off another spinner rack, and it's Treasure Chest. It's an educational comic book. They used to pass these out in parochial schools, and they have fun facts and 3 or 4 different artists. And like here's one where it kind of looks like Prince Valiant style, and it's just a fun little comic. Now here's another cover. Just technology. I was just thinking about my theme is going to be covers and what they kind of mean, and this is like every kind of wire going into this android or machine man's head, and it's
Barry
very
Windsor
cool.
Smith. Do you have all 4 of those issues?
I only have the first one.
Because as you progress through the 4 issues, his face comes together. So
Yeah.
that's where he's all wild. But by the 4th one, he's together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So get the other ones. And Barry Windsor Smith, you can't go wrong. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say the art is really good. And I don't own that one, but I've read that story before.
Okay.
Jonathan, I agree, man. Those are great stories.
And here's the 3 Stooges. And this is a beautiful painted cover.
I want that one.
I mean, it's a beautiful cover. And what I like about these American mythologies, they show techniques of how to produce a comic book. And you see the sketch, and it gets more defined, and then it gets painted. And they also have breakdowns of the characters' faces, where you can see how you would draw a mole at a different angle or whatever. And I got 2 more on this segment. And this is The Time Machine, H.G. Wells. I'm trying to get it in there. And I love this cover. It's painted also. It's from 1967. They have one edition after another one every year. But I found this one, and I've loved it ever since. I love the movie where the villains were these cannibalistic Morlocks.
Yeah.
And the Eloi were the people that the Morlocks would feed and clothe, and then they'd eat them later on, you know.
Right.
And this guy, I forgot the hero's name. He saved them all, and it's 800,000 years in the future. Well, that's a cool book. And here's one Nate was talking about, Gnort. I don't collect a lot of. I don't collect a lot of Green Lanterns, but Gnort here, over here, he looks like a puppy in there. But if you open it up, he's not a puppy. And this says, "At last, Guy Gardner in his first solo adventure." Well, almost. And then it says Gnort there, you know.
What issue number is that, Steve?
That's number 9, and it's from
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have that one.
1991 story. Joe Stanton and Bruce Patterson. They did the cover too.
I'm gonna pop
And
up
that's my last one.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna pop up a few comments. So your friend Casino Comics is here.
Bye-bye.
So he's saying, "What's up, Steve?" And Renegade Rants just subbed to you, Steve. So yes, please, if you have not subbed to Steve, please do. We all adore him, and we want more eyes on what he does. He just shares books that he loves, and it's fun to watch. Phil's Treehouse is here. Thank you, Phil, for stopping in. And I think we are about caught up. So now we got your link dropped in chat, although I don't think it's a live link, or I can't see it live. I don't know. We're still working on this moderator thing.
It's his first day on the job. Be easy.
Good. It's my first day putting something up. Trying to do that as well. All right. Steve, thank you so much for sharing those books, man. You definitely got some good ones. I think my favorite is the Three Stooges, because I had no idea that existed. All right, who's got something to share now?
I'll go.
Okay.
If nobody else wants to, I definitely can. Steve, that Time Machine book is probably my favorite one. I distinctly remember reading that in the back of a car on the way back from Charleston, and I tore through the Time Machine like that. So that's a favorite of mine. I love H.G. Wells.
Oh, well, before you get started, I'm sorry. Renegade Rants is right. In the description, I did put a link to everybody's channel, so you don't have to go from the chat. Please feel free to hit that description and sub everybody up. All right, what do you got, buddy?
This is a segment called "My Wife Has Incredible Taste." These
wow,
are most of her trade paperbacks. She hasn't read. She's read a bit more than half of them. So these, if I can, this is a lot.
Evening,
these
Doug.
are all of the issues or all of the trades of Something Is Killing the Children. It's one of probably her favorite series, and it was something that she got me into. It's just fantastic. I read it about 4 months after she did, and I tore through all 7 volumes in 2 days. Like it's just amazing. This is a tie-in to that called House of Slaughter. She has 3 trades of that, and she has like a bunch of the variant covers too, because she comes with me to some comic book shows and I direct her towards the S's and set her free. And she finds cool stuff that she likes.
I have not read any of the House of Slaughter. What's your take on that versus Something Is Killing the Children?
I haven't read it yet either.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure. If it's anything like Something's Killing the Children, it's great, but there are only 3 of them, so I'm going to try and knock those out really quick, and I can give you a review on it in a bit. James Tynion's Nice House on the Lake. This is volume 2 because one of our friends has volume 1 right now. She's lending it out because she's awesome like that. And then I think these are the ones that she hasn't gotten to yet. So this is just like the kind of stuff that attracts her attention. This is Arca. And if anybody has read any of these, please let me know. This is Arca, Crashing, which I think is about like a hospital for superheroes, which is neat.
Yeah.
Ufology, also by James Tynion. The Closet.
I've heard of that one.
I've read the first like 2 issues in this one. It was pretty good.
I was in there for a while.
And then this is called Better Place. Let me just read you a little bit from the back of it. Dylan just moved to a new house with no friends and a mother who doesn't have time for him. Luckily, he has his granddad. Together, they are Red Rocket and Kid Cosmo, who save the universe every day with the power of imagination. But one day, Dylan learns that his granddad has suddenly gone to a better place. Now Kid Cosmo will have to save the day all by himself. She bought that after one of her grandparents died, and I don't think she's gotten up the gumption to read it. But those are like the kind of things that attract her attention. This like the art and the neat stories, and she's got fantastic taste. I think as soon as she reads all of them, I'm going to tear through them just as quickly as I can.
She strikes me as somebody who, like, I mean, she's not tied to characters like superheroes like we are. She is just looking for interesting stories, like based on, and I haven't heard of a lot of those, but I can tell she's got good taste because I'm like, I want to read that one. Tinian, like the Tiny Onions are the name of his fans. You know, that's what they call themselves.
I remember that somebody told me that while we were on a stream, and I forgot to tell her, but I have got to tell her that because she's going to love it. But yeah, she collects single issues. Like we have some of those series on our pull list, but she likes getting the trades because she likes being able to lend them out to people and like to make her friends read them. And she sees how carefully like I'm reading comic books, and she doesn't want to tear her stuff up, and she's afraid that she's going to do that with like single issues. So the way that she reads is like mainly in trades, and I love the way that she loves things.
Yeah. So Phil is also a fan of the indie books, and he has a signed copy of Ufology. Renegade says that she has good taste because she married you. Again, he must be new here.
That's her one indiscretion. So,
and then we are joined by Mark Morris, who is a friend of David's and somewhat of a friend of mine. I really enjoy his channel as well. It is a vinyl channel. Mark does a Friday chat, kind of like yours, David. But it's like I like it. He just talks about his whole week. It's pretty cool. And then Awesome Comic Box. If I have not told you, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, friend. All right. Mr. Akins is taking off. Hey, thanks for being here, buddy. I really appreciate it. We'll talk.
Thanks,
to you soon.
Dad.
All right. David or Jacob?
Two left.
I can go.
All right.
So with a channel called Bone Claws Comics, I can't pass up the opportunity to talk about a new #1 that just dropped in Wolverine #1.
I've heard great things.
Here it is.
The 80th #1 of Wolverine.
I was skeptical because Saladin Ahmed is the writer, and he was, I guess, not as established as some of the previous Wolverine writers are, like, you know, the tried and trues, Chris Claremont and stuff. But the first issue is not bad. I mean, he stuck with a lot of the normal tropes, the Savage Wolverine types, and introduced a new kind of complication to Wolverine's storyline, which I'm interested to see how it plays out. But they got me as a Wolverine collector because, you know, I don't know how you feel about variant covers, but as a collector, I had to buy them all, and the bastards made like a ton of them. So,
no.
So do you prefer the chicken or the shrimp ramen?
And they saw a sucker and they got you.
They got me hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, hook, line, and sinker.
So I must. What's the number? How many?
There's got to be at least 20 of them.
I don't know because there's more that I haven't gotten yet.
I love the word "yet" at the end of that
I
sentence.
do too. He knows who he is. You just wait till Dazzler comes out next week. I'm screwed.
You know, I think I know his X-Men variant had Dazzler on the cover, which was neat. But
hey,
my favorite
I want to say hi to JSS. He snuck over here. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for being here.
My favorite variant was really awesome, and it's this cover right here, Adamantium cover, which I thought was just gorgeous.
Is that foily too?
It is. It is.
Jesus. Yeah, that's
it was awesome. The rest of them are kind of okay, but this one was like it's my favorite.
That's like that 90s stuff. That's so gimmicky. That's getting scary. Be careful.
Hey,
but Wolverine also had the Wolverine Revenge drop a couple weeks ago, and I got the variant also, but this variant I thought was also really, really cool looking. So I had to pick that two up when I saw it.
Yeah, they're cool.
And
So,
he's
yeah.
ripped with those big boobies sticking out. Look at that. I laugh at those things. Oh my goodness.
Who doesn't like that though? I mean,
But that's
Who
really
among us, right? Who
like
among us?
Wolverine is not supposed to look like that. The original character, he was short and squat, and I mean, like they just totally transformed him to be like this modern incarnation of what he is. But whatever.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like your weird, gross uncle that you avoid at Thanksgiving, right?
All hairy and wild and savage and
short, stocky, and hairy. And I absolutely hate how he looked in the Wolverine Deadpool movie.
Of course he did.
The short version they made did not look right, but I do like a normal comic book accurate Wolverine. That just wasn't it.
And
yeah, but I mean, when you hold up that picture of him like buff and like that doesn't look like what Wolverine should look like to me at all.
Got a couple of questions pertinent to what you're doing here, Jacob. Awesome Comic Box says he skips the main covers and picks his favorite variant. Not rich enough to get all the variants. I totally hear that. Like when I was collecting World's Finest, there was a William Shatner cover, and it was a variant, so I got that, and I didn't get the A cover. But sometimes I mean, not often. I very, very rarely pick up a variant, but usually that's the route I go. And then Doug wants to know if you saw the very sweet JTC, and I'm sorry, I know the cover he's talking about, but I don't know the artist.
I got it too.
Yeah,
I got it too.
That negative space cover was sweet.
That's one from my that I saw, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, and Phil says yes, he should look like a Wolverine. And 9Panel, thank you for joining us. Another excellent YouTuber. Please check him out. He does a weekly wrap-up show, which is just so slick and well produced that I don't want to compete with him in the Comic Book Community Awards, and yet I am. And so is Lettuce.
Yeah, I don't want to either.
Yeah. So maybe don't sub him. No, I'm just kidding. You should.
Unsub.
No, he is awesome. He's actually I just saw him, and I don't know if it's his real brother or not, but they're going to be doing a live stream together too. Sorry, Jacob, keep on going.
No, you're good. I have one thing left. It's more of a discussion book, really.
Okay.
On how you guys feel. I picked this up, being the Wolverine collector that I am, and paid a good bit of money for it because that's how much they were selling for. But I got the Blood Hunt Wolverine cover. The Blood Hunt, I think it's number 2. And I did not pay the cover price what it was listed on there, but I still paid a good pretty penny for it. The question is, with the red bands Marvel is doing with the more graphic, more bloody content in these red band books, how does everybody feel about that? Because I mean, personally, I don't hate it. The only thing I don't like about it is, like with Blood Hunt specifically, like a couple of the panels, like somebody is torn in half, and then as the story continues, they're not, because that's not how it was in the non-red band version. So the story follows the non-red band version, but you get more graphic stuff in the red band version, and it's $1 more.
So, I mean, I don't know a lot about these red band covers, other than they seem to be like, some of them were ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And I seriously, I don't know, like what was the cover price on that one?
Oh, this is the cover price is like normal, but because this was a 1 in 25 or 1 in 50 of the red band version, I paid about $135 for it.
Nope. I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get that there is a rarity built in on that, but I mean, I don't. I'm not on board.
No, I can't. No, $135 for that.
No,
Number
this
one,
is just
no
this specific
covering
issue.
it.
Just
Does
this
that
specific
red thing
issue.
come off? Does
Yeah.
that red thing come off?
It's in a poly bag. It's in a poly bag.
Yeah, so
and
I mean,
looks like it's an EC, like an homage to an EC.
Yes.
Comics.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a really nice cover, but $135. Don't you have a mortgage or something, like car payment? Like $135 for a modern comic.
The normal the normal red band versions are just $1 more. Like this was $5.99 cover price, as opposed to $4.99 for the regular non-red band versions.
Yeah, but
so the red band versions of the comics are $1 more per issue. This one just had to be like a special variant because of the homage variant, which upped the price.
I'm perfectly okay with $1 more on a variant. I'm also perfectly all right.
25 more? No.
Yeah, no. But even with that, like, I mean, David, you and I don't have to buy it, and we won't, you know, but there are people who will. And if that helps a local comic shop, it doesn't hurt my feelings. And yeah, 22, thanks for being here, buddy. And JSS brings up a point here. He says, all the Blood Hunt books are homage covers to the famous EC covers. Like the Sabretooth one. Is that the one you have, Jacob? Is that the one you're talking about?
No. That was issue 1.
Okay.
And that was like $150, $200.
Yeah. And it was awesome. But I mean, the amount of money for that is just crazy.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Now, the difference is it's not just the covers. The content in the books is different. Like it's more bloody. The fights is more bloody, and some of the content is more graphic.
Yeah.
But the story doesn't change. So
I think that so it's a difficult line to walk, right? Because there was a post on Reddit that I saw the other day asking if somebody could identify a cast iron skillet. And it turns out it was a really rare cast iron skillet, and it was worth like $600. They bought it at an antique store for like $5, right? Anytime you are in a collectibles hobby, I kind of take umbrage with the term like fair market value, because you can find Golden Age books in dollar bins or for $5, right? Alex the Comic Hoarder has a video where he found like Marvel Comics #2 for like $10 or something like that. So fair market is just like what is known people will pay for it, but you can get them for more or less expensive. That happens all the time. So it's just like, if I would not personally pay that much for like a red band comic book, I do not personally care about them like that. But like David said, like if you have a mortgage and you paid it, and this is your hobby, and this is what you choose to spend your money on, go with God. Go with God.
Well, how do you feel about paying $1 more for the red band? Because this was
$1 more,
just,
absolutely.
Yeah, this was just a specific example that I had pulled out. That this is an example of one I paid a lot of money for, just because of the rarity of the cover. But like a regular red band is only $1 more.
Yeah, if it's just $1 more, then why not? Going back to the variant thing, like I have this thing about I have to have the A cover because it's for some reason that's the real one to me, and then the variants are like they're the art books. So I will get the A cover, and then if there's a variant that I like and that I'm willing to pay $6 for a small poster, essentially, then I'll get that as well. But I don't really care about variants. I just kind of want the thing, and I like having A covers. But yeah, I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. I can't imagine that, but that's totally up to you.
Marvel is releasing more and more red band books. Like they just released a Werewolf by Night red band version. They're relaunching Blade with a red band version. They're starting to up the number of these books that they're going to be releasing in the future.
Well, I mean, if it's something, I don't know, if it's something that doesn't hurt me, like it's not raising the price of the books I buy, it's still a choice. So it doesn't bother me. I do think it's weird though, that like they're putting something in that they're not committing to. Like when DC, wants to do a darker story, they do it under Black Label or whatever. Yeah. And Marvel's trying to kind of ride both sides of the fence. I saw 22 said something about that. And I kind of get it. Okay. So what I really learned here is that JSS, Hagen, and I are all subscribed to the Cast Iron subreddit. So I don't know what that says about us. And then Renegade Rant says cocaine is cheaper. Probably it's not. And don't ask me how I know. I heard it from a friend, Hagen.
I found it in that Dazzler book that I wanted to send to you.
I've got a
I was
monster.
going to
My
charge you
friend's
extra
better.
for it.
That's not surprising. Oh, all right, David, you are up, my friend.
So I'm probably going to show the worst of the whole lot because I was
Not true.
drunk one night, and I'm not a raging alcoholic. I very rarely drink, but I was drunk and I got on Whatnot, and that's something else I'm not allowed to do anymore. So I got on Whatnot and I started bidding, and then like when I got the package in the mail, I opened it up and I was like, "What in the hell did I buy? These things are so awful." Okay, so first I got this Batman Riddler set. Okay,
Oh,
it
Oh,
looks
that's cool.
great. No,
it's so
absolutely
bad.
trash.
Is it bad because it looks neat?
Like when I thought so. Well, okay, I got them so cheap, by the way. Like when you see the art, I don't know if you can see that. It is so awful. Like
All right.
if I don't know if I can see. Look at his butt.
Yeah.
I was like, the only worst Batman I've ever seen is Paul Pope. I was like, what is this trash?
I like
No.
Paul Pope's Batman. It's weird.
You can,
But-
okay, you can have
But
it.
but
So-
I agree. Run Riddler Run is I have it. It's horrible.
I was like, what is this? So I thought, well, you know what? I saw the flashy, cool colors. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Look at this. Trash. Just utter trash. And it gets worse. Well, that was at least a Batman title. So then, this isn't trash, but I thought to myself, why? So I love Spider-Man artwork like this. But I hate like 1/3 of the cover is taken up by trade dress.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I
just
agree.
Roy's art, and normally I wouldn't buy it, but I got all three of them together, and then after I got it, I was thinking like it's just so ugly with that trade dress, and of course this is a beautiful picture, right? It's great art, and this is Marvel often has muddy art. That art is gorgeous, but it's muddy, so dark. And they do that a lot, and this one I could take or leave, but. I mean, after I got it, I was like, see, I won't display this. I won't use this because it's just so ugly. I've already found a home for all of these, by the way.
I'm actually collecting the Fear Itself run, so.
As am I.
Dude, I'll send them to you. I don't want them.
I do not have those.
Okay, I'll send them to you. I don't care. I don't want them. So next, I got this whole, like, Captain Marvel run. Like, what? I don't even like this. So I liked the cover for number 1. I was like, oh, that's a cool cover. It's very cartoony, but fun, right? And so it was super cheap, maybe all 10 issues for like $5. I'm like, okay. So I got it. And so the first cover is nice. The second cover is nice. The third cover I really like. And it just goes downhill from there.
Civil War is the speed
And
bump
this-
in every Marvel run from that era.
And I mean, if you look, it looks okay on the surface, but if you actually start looking at it, the art is awful. And it's like, look at her face. Like, what was I thinking buying this? So I already found a home for this trash. Like, I did not need to spend all that money on this. Like, I could have been buying good comics. And so when I opened that, I was like, dude, you can't get on Whatnot drunk. Like,
No.
so there you go. That's what I bought. I got 3 other ones, and that was DK2. And then I thought to myself, Dark Knight, the second one, and I thought, why? I've got that in trades. I've got that in this beautiful, what do you call that omnibus that DC puts out? No, the really
Absolute.
yes,
Absolute.
in that, and it's gorgeous. I didn't need that, so yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know. No more drinking and going on Whatnot. I recommend that.
I have a whole section in a box back here called Should Not Whatnot. And it's for purchases that I made while sauced when everyone else goes to bed. And I sit there and it's like water damage Silver Age DC, sign me up. And then when you get it, it's like it's just garbage,
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, man, what could I have done with the money I blew there?
Yeah. Plus, you're paying $8 shipping, right? Minimum.
Yeah.
So you add that onto that trash.
At least I am, smart enough to only try to get from people who will give me free shipping after the $8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you do pay minimum $8.
Yes,
for your shipping. You do.
Okay, this is Jacob. I'm gonna show a couple of books here, and when I get to the end, I'm gonna save the one that I'm gonna predict is the one you're thinking of, if it's what it is. This
really
is actually
quick, Nate, will you move me so that I have the duck head instead of Steve?
There you go.
We go. Okay, I'm
there you go.
He loves that duck.
He loves that duck.
We need another logo at the bottom. You know what I love.
I'm dead serious. I'm waiting. Ricky told me that that StreamYard will do a Black Friday sale where they will do a year for the membership at half off. And at half off, I'm a buyer. I'll get rid of that damn duck and have custom everything. But for the price they're asking right now, not so much.
I think Hagen's going to be out without the duck. I think he's here for the duck.
I will make. I'll still put a duck watermark in there just for him.
Yeah, good. Or I'm deleting my channel.
He's gonna get a duck mask or something.
This is so on Free Comic Book Day, they did stories from the Atlas Comic Library, and I had not read it. It just kind of made its way into my read pile finally. And there is so much great stuff in here. So this first one is called Raving Maniac, and it actually, this is gonna sound bad, makes me think of Alan the Comic Collector Geek. Not that he's a raving maniac. I feel like it is a direct response to the Frederick Wertheim book. What's it called? The Seduction of the Innocent. So this guy shows up at a comic book publisher, and he's just ranting and raving, and the character. So then this guy here, bump my mic, that guy there, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be Stan Lee sitting in the chair. And he kind of, he reads him the riot act, the raving maniac, about why he needs to just shut up and let people have fun. And if he doesn't like it, he should stay away. And like, this was the 1950s that this was being written, and it's really smart. Then there's a horror story. This one here was great. So this is Monsters Dwell with art by Basil Wolverton. And I want to show you some of the monsters in here because they're wild. Like, it was just so trippy. Like, look at that snake. And then these like weird creatures that are roasting people. There's a romance story. There's a war story. Oh, there's another awesome creature. So it was just really cool. And they said that Fantagraphics is putting out all of these hardcovers. And I haven't seen anything on these. Like, this was from Free Comic Book Day this year. And so these were the ones that, they advertised in the back. I've not seen these solicited or.
There are two out already.
Okay. This one here really interests me because I'd never heard of this artist, and he did an issue in here, and it's just like really cool. So, okay. You think there are two of them out?
I think there are. And because I was looking at them, I really wanted them,
Yeah.
I buy so much and I'm like, oh, I can't.
Well, the sci-fi one, yeah, the Days of the Rockets, I really think I want to check out. Oh, yeah. Okay, so then I went to my LCS over the weekend, so this would be stuff from last week or before that I have picked up. Collecting Casually is here. Hello, thank you for being here. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from IDW, issue number 2. Issue number 1 was excellent. Followed Raphael being in prison. This one also excellent. Follows Michelangelo being like a movie star. Like, the Turtle brothers have all split up and they're doing different things, and so it's almost like back in the very old days in Mirage, they did these like, and they're getting ready to do another one. They did these one shots of each turtle got his own thing, and so this one was really good as well. Just a lot of family drama and trauma, but with turtles, and the art is good. The story was good. This one, Hagen, Jeff Lemire, and Jacob. Okay. So this is,
that was the one.
Yeah. Okay. That's not my last one. It wasn't my prediction, but I thought maybe. So what did you think of this, man? I really dug this.
I did too. I like it more because I know there's more coming. As a first issue, and you don't know there's more coming, I don't say it was very strong because the hook doesn't sink in very deep.
Yeah.
But knowing that, the pedigree of the author and that this is just one part of a long format story that he's telling.
Yeah.
It was very, very good. A very good start.
So in the end, and I don't know how long they're saying this is, he says 4 deluxe, by the time this is over, it'll be 4 deluxe hardcovers.
Yep.
But it deals with, I mean, it's Jeff Lemire, so it deals with melancholy and people who are down. And this girl returns home. Her mother is a psychic who, like, you know, I mean, she's a shyster, and the girl has her own issues that kind of come up. I don't want to spoil anything, but like you're right. It was slow, but knowing that it's him and knowing that he's going to build something and that it's going to be like, it's going to be some kind of weird magic, I'm on board. Now, the last book I got, and this was the one I thought you said because of the things, holy cow, modern body horror, Plastic Man No More. So he's melting, if you can't see. And they do such a good job in this of showing the character of Plastic Man. Like, number one, how he got his powers. He starts off as a thief. And then when they show him on the Justice League, they use this very cartoony style. And so he's always in the background. And he stands up to this guy who has a doomsday device, and he takes it right to the face. And it really hurts him. Like, he's melting. And later on, so now when you get into just him, things are very dark. Like, that cartoony brightness is gone. And he goes to bed to heal himself. And when he wakes up, his arm is falling off. And he literally puts his arm into a colostomy bag and walks around with it and tries to find out what's wrong with him. And he finds a doctor who tells him, "You're dying because plastic breaks down over time. And I can't tell you if you're dying because this doomsday device hit you or because you've just reached the half-life of being a plastic man. So there you go." And it's like, that's his whole life. Like, nobody will help him. When he's talking to the Justice League, they treat him like such a joke. When Wonder Woman is talking, her word balloon covers his. Like, he's talking through this whole thing and being ignored. It was such a cool little motif. So this is a Black Label book. It was book 1, and it's written by Christopher Cantwell. And he has written a lot of things that I have liked a lot. He writes a lot of modern Star Trek stuff for IDW. So, I mean, if you're looking for a book 1 to jump on, I think that one was pretty dang cool.
That's looks amazing.
No, I probably will call him Hayden again, but
you already did before we started.
Son of a bitch! I'm so sorry. So when we get divorced,
you're gonna get a certified letter at work.
I know it's gonna break. It's just gonna ruin my whole day. Nice. All right. So those were just some modern books that I picked up that I thought were like really cool last week. Steve,
what was the tagline of Plastic Man?
Plastic Man No More.
No more.
Which,
okay.
you know, I mean, they could have been a little more original with that, but
yeah,
that came out last week.
Either last week or the week before.
I totally missed that.
It's very recent, and I mainly like what caught my eye was him melting on the cover.
That cover was cool, actually.
Phil is right. Christopher Cantwell used to be a screenwriter. I learned of him as a writer from a Star Trek podcast that I listened to that he was a guest on, and he was trying to sell the Star Trek books he was writing at the time, and so I started picking them up, and I'm still picking them up because they're still good. Steve, did you have something else you wanted to show, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
One of the storylines I like in comic books is time travel. And Iron Man, he always ends up in the court of King Arthur. And this is a beautiful painted cover. And it's one of my favorite, more modern Iron Man covers. And what is it? Invisible Iron Man, number 59 from 2002. Mike Grell is the artist. And I think it's a beautiful cover. And the fact that Iron Man is like a knight in shining armor. And these next 2 books go together. Time travel also. This is Iron Man 149 and 150, and that's Dr. Doom's eyeball right there. And you can see the red. He needs Visine real bad. But here is one that reminds me of the Thor and the Silver Surfer cover.
Gorgeous.
I love this cover.
I feel like that's a very popular book right now, Steve.
Yeah, that one's a kind of expensive, I think. And yeah, I was enamored with Bob Layton art. His Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
my favorite. The art is just gorgeous.
And he was one of the artists on this cover. But 100 issues later, you have Bob Layton doing it again, and they have to go into the future because Iron Man and Dr. Doom is causing a bunch of problems in the future. So they had to get the present Iron Man and Dr. Doom to go back or to go forward in time. Time travel is confusing. To try to fix things. And so I like this. I like Merlin's in here too. He's up at the top and he blends in really well with everything.
Yeah, I really like that cover, Steve. That's a cool one.
And this book is real popular, but I bought it years ago for cover price,
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Nice.
a mixing of Dr. Doom and Iron Man together. And you can see that the Dr. Doom, I interpret it this way, is kind of taking over, and you see a darker side of the Iron Man than you normally see in the helmet and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so, one more Iron Man, and I got a few Captain Americas. Now, this one, everybody thinks he's fighting the Hulk. Oh, there's a Hulk cover. It's an android. He's fighting an android that looks like Hulk. And it's kind of interesting. But Iron Man and the Hulk fight all the time. I mean, I could pull out 20 books of them two fighting easy. And now I'm going to move on to Captain America real quick.
Look at how the artist used up almost the entire cover just with the two bodies. He fills in
yeah.
space. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that force perceptive?
Perspective?
Yeah,
Force
that's what I'm trying
yeah.
to spit out. And the next book,
Steve, you don't have to show Captain America. Nobody here wants to see that.
Nobody likes Captain America anyway.
And this is for my Captain America partner there. Lettuce, he'll like these.
What is it? Hayden doesn't want to see that.
Okay.
Now
Steve,
This
don't let
was
them
the
bully you.
last Captain America book that I needed to complete my run.
Wow.
Nice.
And it was
Good
gifted
one.
to me by Mike of Casino Comics.
Awesome.
And I always thought I had it because I had this one, and it was a reprint, and I really didn't notice, but the reprint has the Marvel right here.
Yeah.
And so pretty good. And this is one of my absolute favorite older Captain America covers because of the Red Skull's got Captain America in the Cosmic Cube, and he's like manhandling Sharon Carter, and it's like he's got her by the arm, and you really don't notice it. He's got the massive power, and she's a secret agent and everything, but I bet that hurt her, You could tell in the expression. She's worried about Captain America, and she's probably in pain simultaneously, Then
Titty twister.
And here's a strange one of Captain America fighting himself, but it's called the Ameridroid. And he's 12 feet tall, and he's saying things like, "You're a good Captain America, human fighting machine, but you met your death the day you tackled the colossal Ameridroid. And Cap's fighting for his life. That's what it says.
Spoiler, he survives.
Yeah.
Thanks. I was looking forward to the ending.
In my last book here is a Laurel and Hardy homage cover because Captain America's got the bow and Hawkeye's got the shield. And the caption on this one says,
I think that's John Byrne.
well, here's another fine mess you gotten us into, Hawkeye. Just like Laurel and Hardy did. Yeah, let's see.
Big B's.
Paul Neary and Dennis Janke were the artists on for this cover.
Oh, really? That's not Byrne?
No.
Oh.
But
looks like it to me.
But it's stylistically how you see a lot of Scotty Young type comic illustrations that isn't Scotty Young because it's kind of like a style that he kind of established and other people got on the bandwagon.
I love the yellow background on that one.
Oh yeah. It's kind of cool.
Classic Hawkeye when he used to wear the dress.
Yeah.
the skirt piece.
And he really wasn't a bad guy. He just kind of fell into it. He was battling Iron Man and because he was being blamed for stealing something, which he didn't steal. But him and Iron Man got into it, and then the Black Widow drives up to him, and he escapes with her back to her mansion, and then he starts developing more powerful trick arrows and everything.
All right. I can't
Black
remember.
Widow had a mansion. Wow.
Who's up next?
Did not know that.
I'm going to let Hagen go next.
Thank you.
His name is Hagen.
So I'm going to show a music thing, a comic book-ish thing, and then another music thing. So the reason why I'm showing music things is because I know for a fact that 4 of the 5 of us are musicians on some level. Jacob, I'm not sure about you, but do you sing? Do you sing in the shower? Do you sing in the car?
Not
Close
that I'll
enough.
ever admit.
Anyway, so all 5 of us are musicians, right?
Yep.
I would make an adult joke, but I'm not going to.
This is a binder of every piece of music with a few exceptions that I've ever sung in my entire life, going all the way back to middle school and through college. Just like tons of sheet music in there. But this is one of my most prized pieces of sheet music. This is Fare's Requiem, and it's edited by John Rutter. And it's signed on the cover by a woman named Sonia Sepulveda. And she is the woman who directed me in a choir twice when me and my schools performed at Carnegie Hall. And so that that's a really important thing to me. We did Fare's Requiem, and we did a piece by Jake Runestad, I believe.
That's a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, it was super awesome. I got to go there my senior year of high school and my sophomore year, I think, of college. But so there's that. I thought you guys might like to see that. This is a Nate. There's something about this that you're gonna like. This is one of the oldest comic book toys that I have. This is a famous covers series. Captain America action figure. It's not new in the box. I just kept the box. But when I got it, it was still taped shut, but I was 9. So I tore it open immediately and started playing with it because I really liked it. And the gloves are faux leather. It's an actual fabric costume. I just thought it was really, really cool. And it had Avengers #4 on it, which is a book that I was never ever going to have. So this was awesome for me to get. And then you see just above it is that. So this is just a really neat thing that I had that I think my dad got at like a thrift store or something. But on the back I used to make fun of this as a kid. You can get an 8-inch ultra posable Aunt May action figure, limited to 10,000, and it's a special offer only for Marvel Maniacs.
There's no way there's not 9,998 of those left. There's just no way.
I have to find one. Because me and my dad made fun of this all the time. Like, why would you want an Aunt May action figure? But now I'm like,
I want an Aunt May action figure.
He was the best.
Yeah, I mean,
Get the family together, you know.
Yeah, but like an action figure of Aunt May, like as a kid, that was ridiculous to me. As an adult, it's ridiculous to me, but it's awesome. So there's that. And David, this is specifically for you. I pulled this out of my my Lolo's record collection. Lolo is Tagalog for grandfather, but it is this. This is the most interesting record that I have. It's a Sesame Street record, and it's got George Benson, the Doobie Brothers, Ernie and Cookie Monster.
Oh, cool.
Bette Midler, Linda Ronstadt, Carly Simon, James Taylor. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I did look it up. This is on Spotify. Like if you want to just hear it, it's not going to have that warm vinyl, but it is on Spotify if you want to hear it. I really like the art. Like it's childlike, and it's exactly what a Sesame Street record should, you know?
I've never seen it in the bins. That's a really cool album.
Yeah,
very cool.
My favorite artist on here has got to be Bette Midler, but yeah, I really like that. I think it's very silly, and I enjoy it. I've listened to it a couple times. It's fun. But yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
All right, so interjecting a little bit, that Aunt May action figure is actually pretty reasonably priced on eBay.
Tell me,
like $12.
Okay,
I'm gonna own it.
Okay, I don't want to spoil. I don't. No spoilers here, but I know what everyone's getting for Christmas.
That's fun.
So I'm going to buy them all up on Thanksgiving and just relist them for like exorbitant prices.
Oh yeah, jack the stock up.
Yeah,
in a box of Uncle Ben's rice.
That is funny. Jacob,
right.
you are
so
up,
I
my
have
friend.
One book to show that I found was interesting. So a little bit of preface. I'm working on a video where I'm ranking all the Wolverine #1 comic books in honor of the new Wolverine #1 dropping this past week. And I've mentioned before, I'm not sure if it was on a live stream or if it was in just a private chat, that I like to find stuff when I go through my collection that I forgot that I even had. And as I was pulling up all my old Wolverine #1s, I found this one. That was signed, and I didn't realize I had signed by Jason Aaron.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
That's
I'm rereading
Jay
these
Lee,
books.
right?
What's
Lee
that?
cover? Is it Jay Lee cover? Is that...
Jay Lee cover, yeah. Jay Lee
love
did the
his
cover, but not the internal artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm rereading all the #1s, and I hit this. So I'm like, I don't really want to open this because, it's signed and, it feels kind of strange. But I had another copy, so I was good to go. But I also have this copy in CGC, which brings me to my discussion topic for this issue is, how do you guys feel about raw signed books? Because I know how some of you feel about, raw versus slab books, but I know CGC is changing their rules and verifying signatures now, but they wouldn't take them before. So how do you feel about having signatures on raw books now? Like I found this one just in my collection that I had never had any intention of ever getting slabbed. I still don't, but somebody else may now that CGC is, verifying signatures.
If you saw, Brandon just did a video where he cracked a slab because he had John Buscema's signature on the inside of the book, not the outside. I guess I don't have a strong opinion one way or another. Like, I mean, slabs are not my thing, and I'm not saying I'll never, ever have one. because if I saw one that I thought was cool for the right price, but for me, I'm just always going to be a reader first, and a slab takes that chance away from me. So, but I also get like when somebody has something signed like that, like the John Buscema was inside the book. You couldn't see it when it was slabbed. It made sense to open that back up. But if you've got something like a Stan Lee or a Jack Kirby and it's on the outside, I get wanting to preserve that too. Like at that point, the book is maybe more of an autograph than it is something to read. So maybe its purpose changes. I don't know.
And what's interesting is I know I probably got this signed back when this book was still somewhat new, and Jason Aaron was not nearly as big as he is today then. So like this was probably like a no line signature at Heroes Con, whereas now you're going to have a half hour to an hour wait to get this signature years and years later, because he's gotten so big, and there's stories. I have so many comic books that I know that are signed like that, where I've gotten them signed years and years ago by artists and writers who have blown up, and then I'm never going to get a signature from now, because I don't waste my time at cons, sitting in hour and 2 hour long lines. I like digging through boxes too much. But yeah, it's interesting now that CGC is recognizing those signatures. They can verify. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, and Big B says CGC turns comics into great trading cards. I think it does. For a time I was like not a defender of CGC, but like at least when they put a grade on it, it was now a known value. Like it's a 8.5, it's a 9.0, and that the market could use that. But then with all the things that have just been going on with them lately, it's like the subjectivity of grading and the problems that can come from it, the ways to manipulate it. Like, I just don't know. It's not for me, but again, if I see something silly and it's like someone only wants $10 for this slab, I'd probably grab it. And David, you're shaking your head, but you showed off like 3 slabs the other day.
I have about 50 slabs because I go on to the auction site and nobody buys them, and I get them between $10 to $15, and I grab them up. But I get the ones that I like the covers for. So for me, it's an art piece. It's not a collectability thing like for money. It's just, I like this art, and it's so cheap. It's like $10, $15 for a slabbed comic. That's got to be less than what it costs to even slab it.
Oh, without a doubt it is.
It is.
And so I'm just like, this is a no-brainer. So it's not like, I'm buying them just because, I think they're going to go up in value because of the slab. And I purposefully will buy the ones that are from the CBC.
Yeah,
CBCS. And I'll purposely buy the ones that are 8, 7, and 6, as long as the covers look beautiful.
Yeah.
And if you buy a slab and they say, they mark it to 0.5 because there's a missing interior page, well, who cares?
Right.
Because you're not going to see the interior.
Right.
So it's like, that makes no sense to me. Why not buy a super cheap slab where something's wrong in the middle because you're only buying it for the cover? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I like to think of comic books as like toys for the imagination. And if you just look at the cover, okay, that's neat. But if you start thumbing through, a lot of times I might not even read a comic book, but I'll look at the pages and see if I can get the gist of the story by just thumbing through and thinking what they're doing. In other cases, I read it. But toys for the imagination.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't like absolutes, and I don't like gatekeeping when it comes to anything, but especially hobbies. I think there's room enough for every kind of collector. Like, I don't think anyone here is a speculator, but I don't look down on speculation. Like, that's what they enjoy doing. So freaking go for it. The hobby needs all the help it can get. And if there's different branches of people doing different things within it, I mean, I think that's good as long as we're all welcoming and encouraging of each other. Nobody should be looking down on anybody else because they want to collect in a certain way. And I'm with you, Phil. I want to open a Silver Age book and smell that 1960s. It smells like LSD and old weed
and mold.
David, do you have
terrible.
you have anything
Well, listen,
else?
we're already at over an hour by 10 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
Of course, I always have stuff to show, but yeah, it's probably better if we
pick us something. Close us out, buddy. Close us out.
Dude.
What do you got?
I'm not gonna. No.
Okay, pick a few and close us out.
Okay, so I
all?
I got 2 magazines when I was at the comic book, and you know I'm trying to buy more and more of these magazines. I got them for 40% off. I just love the art on these older magazines, and man, some of them cost so much money. But I really would like to start getting into the creepy and the eerie and picking up those, you know, but that is a big investment. I will show, okay, I got one Captain America. There you go for Hagen. Not a great one, but it was $2. So I'm like, that was a run filler, right? I have the one before it and the one after it. So I grabbed that one. I have one for Nate. Okay, get ready, because this, I don't know what's going on with this comic, but what in the...
Hey, it's a bondage cover.
I want to be there for this. I'm like, I need to be one of these people. Like, what is going on? I saw that. It was $5, but I got 40% off. And I was like, even though it's a little rough, I'm like, dude, that's got to come home with me. Like, what is...
That's
do they sell oil-based kryptonite?
And I got, I want to show these 2. So I've said this over and over again. I'm a huge Defenders collector, and I finally got 2 issues that I love these. I love them. And so I finally was able to pick them up. Now they're not in the best shape, but they were 40% off. And until I get a better collection, but I mean, like, look at that. No, wait, this one.
Yeah.
What in the actual hell? I mean, this.
I mean, she is crazy. Upside down, tied to a cross. That is.
Yeah.
But why is her hand like going like is she in like rigor mortis? And then it's like crazy. Her hand is all like this.
You're focusing on the least interesting
right.
Part of you don't understand.
Screw the upside down cross. Look at her hand.
I studied this comic for years. Like, I obsess over this comic because it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite runs from when I was a kid. And I just like look at every detail. I mean, look how many people are in this. We have the Defenders, right? But we've got the Son of Satan. We've got Luke Cage. We've got Daredevil. Like, where are all these people coming from? It's like they invite the whole Marvel universe. And then look at, here's Yellow Jacket. And they're all like all bondaged up. And then they come flying in. Oh, Luke Cage is in here somewhere. Oh, there he is. It's like the Defenders were so crazy back in, and these are actually really good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So there you go. Some Defenders. We can end with some Defenders.
That is a spectacular one to go out on, man. Like,
yeah.
And I'm with you. The Defenders is such a crazy read. And they pack so many characters in there. And those covers, like, that is something I will say about those old Marvel covers. Like the one that Steve showed too, like the characters, there's always a million of them, but they're always big. They're the center, like that Hulk and Iron Man one. But yeah, I really appreciate you sharing those, because I know you had that in that hardcover. We talked about that once, but yeah, having the individual issue is something else.
Yeah, I'm slowly going to get all those Defenders, and the best issues are around 22 to 31, because it's issue after issue of nonstop action. I mean, they go from one thing to the next to the next. It's really the first introduction of the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were in another comic, Marvel Presents, but this is where they they were full on introduced, and the Defenders interact with them, and
I think I have 18 through 21 or 22, and it's that story is just crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have been going for a while. And so anyway, first I want to thank all of you guys for being here. Jacob and Hagen and I used to get together a little more regularly, but then real life just kicked us in the butt the last couple of months. So this was just really fun. Steve, we've been trying to get you to hang out with us forever. And so thank you for, accepting the invite and for learning the technology to get on here with us and sharing some of your books. And David.
Had a great time.
And David, you're a treasure as always. And just please, everyone is linked in the description. So if you are not subbed to somebody here, please do give them a subscription. I just love all these guys so much. Richard, thank you for being our moderator. And anybody who's in the chat too, who has a channel. I mean, Phil, Renegade Rants, Casino Comics. I'm subbed to all these guys. These are all just channels that I enjoy. Jab, and Big B. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll chat for just a few minutes. But thanks for watching. And if you're watching on the repeat, please leave a comment and we'll get back with you and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.